There's a word on here that I don't know. Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam Marshall, and I am a writer, a book reviewer, and a mom. Moving into today's topic of conversation, we are doing a book haul. Yes! I have not shopped for books in a while, and not shopped for books in the sense that, like, I haven't really bought a whole lot of books for myself in a while. Like, I've bought gifts for people through the holidays and for birthdays and things like that, and here and there I would grab a book online through bookshop.org if I could get it through them, or if it was a UK edition, I would go to Book Depository if they didn't have it on the UK version of bookshop.org, and grab it that way. Like, for instance, I had purchased A Little Hatred because I was writing a review about it, so I got that through bookshop.org. But aside from those, like, one-offs here over the last, like, 6 months, I really haven't been purchasing any books for myself, and I definitely, because of COVID, haven't been going out and shopping for books. And last week, my sister and our friend, since we have all been being safe around each other and we are in our safe bubble together, we decided we would try to go to a used bookstore that my sister and I used to frequent years ago, and they had recently moved. They had to downsize, and so we wanted to go ahead and stop by, see if we could find some books that are on our list of, like, books to keep an eye out for, you know, always filling in, like, series that we had purchased previously, or, you know, anywho, I'm going on a tirade about that. But we wanted to go and support a local bookstore, local used store, and see what we could find. And these are the books that I found from the used bookstore. So first up, we have The Once and Future King by T.H. White. I have not read this, and I know you all who have previously watched my other videos are like, well, you told me you liked, you know, King Arthur retellings. How have you not read this yet? And it's because, you know, I love retellings, but I just have not read the classic retelling. And so, yes, this is just King Arthur. It's T.H. White's. It is considered a classic at this point. It even has a little blurb down here by from Ursula Le Guin. And yeah, so I saw it. They had a deal going where if you bought 3 used books, you got a 4th book free. Of course, of equal or lesser value. And so I saw this and I was like, okay, used copy. I'm going to snag it. I need to read this. It's now officially on my TBR for the year. Also, it's in very good condition. Like, the spine is not really broken in all that much, which is really cool. I mean, the paper's definitely, you know, weathered, but it's not really, it's a very good copy, actually. So I was very happy to grab that one. All right, I'm gonna toss that down there for the moment. The second book, which I'm gonna do both of these together. There's the second and third books that I grabbed that were used books, were both Michael Crichton books. And I have Dragon Teeth and Pirate Latitudes. I hadn't planned on actually reading Pirate Latitudes this year. It's on my list of books to read, but I thought I would get back around to reading Timeline and I don't actually remember what the other Michael Crichton book was that I was planning on reading this year. Was it Jurassic Park? It might have just been straight up Jurassic Park. I've not read Michael Crichton. I've listened to the first, like, hour of Timeline on as an audiobook, and I was enjoying it a lot, but I totally did not start it at the appropriate time, and so it was immediately returned after I listened to 1 hour of it. So I had planned on finishing Timeline this year and starting Jurassic Park. However, Pirate Latitudes was on my list of books to check out this year. Well, check out in general, not this year. And I I'm glad that I actually saw a used copy of it, because, and I like these paperbacks. These paperbacks are taller than the regular mass market paperbacks, but they're not quite the newer paperbacks that you see out everywhere. So they're still like mass market-ish, but they're a little bit bigger. So for holding them, you know, it's nice. And I was thinking, if we do a vacation this year, which I have no idea if we're still going on a trip, who knows the way the world is. And, you know, we have a baby, so we're trying to be as safe as possible. I say baby, she's a toddler now. I can't believe it. We just put her in a toddler bed this week. Oh my God. Anyway, so I digress. I plan on, if we do actually go to the beach house this year with my in-laws, to possibly bring these books with me, because they are just perfect beach-going books. These type of paperbacks are fantastic for that. So let's talk a little bit about what Pirate Latitudes is. Pirate Latitudes is just like a pirate adventure, takes place in the Caribbean in 1665. It's a standalone. There's no continuation of the story. I believe, and I will have to double check this and correct it in the edits later, that it was published posthumously. I believe that Michael Crichton had already passed by the time this one was actually published. It's the Caribbean, 1665, a remote colony of the English crown. The island of Jamaica holds out against the vast supremacy of the Spanish Empire. Port Royal, its capital, is a cutthroat town of taverns, grog shops, and bawdy houses. In this steamy climate, there's a living to be made, a living that can end swiftly by disease or by a dagger. For Captain Charles Hunter, gold in Spanish hands is gold for the taking, and the law of the land rests with those ruthless enough to make it. So, like I said, swashbuckling adventure, takes place in the Caribbean, right at the height of the, you know, pirate golden age. And yeah, I'm all about pirates. I've loved reading about pirates since, well, let's be honest, I was 14 when the Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out. So I was in love with it back then, and I just like delved full force into anything pirate related, so much so that for years after that, people still were giving me gifts that were pirate related. So anyway, it's surprising to me that I haven't read any Michael Crichton up until this point, and that I hadn't found this one yet. So excited to start this one this year. Drop that to the floor too. Okay, moving on to the next Michael Crichton, we have Dragon Teeth. This is another one that came out a few years back. Again, I believe it was published posthumously, so editing Sam, you'll have to correct me if it's not. So this is a Western. So we went from swashbuckling to Western. It takes place in 1876. Yes, I did just peek at the back cover. And you're dealing with some paleontologists, and there's like two of them that are on opposite sides, and they're, you know, running amok trying to claim this site of dinosaur bones, and that's the gist of what I've gotten from it. Sounds fun. It sounds like, you know, it's going to be an adventure. I do know that Michael Crichton, having only listened to the first hour of Timeline, goes into great detail about a lot of things. A lot of the science behind it, a lot of the research and such, that the characters, because he's always using some form of scientist or science throughout his book, from what I gather. Again, haven't really read his stuff, but from what my sister, who had recommended Jurassic Park to me, had said, and from what I know of Timeline, he goes in depth about a lot of the background knowledge that his characters have to have in order for them to know the things that they know. So I imagine this one's kind of like that as well. Still set in a different time period, still a Western, and I'm fully expecting it to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that one. All right, it is on the floor now. Next book is one that I should have probably read by now, and have had many people recommend it to me, but I do this thing where when there's a lot of hype about something initially, I kind of steer away from it, because there's too many people that like it, and if I don't like it, then I got a lot of people to argue with. But I do have a feeling I'm going to enjoy this book, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir, and I did get the copy that's got the movie cover on it. And most people know what The Martian is about. You got a guy, he gets kind of stuck on Mars, and he's got to take the knowledge that he has and try to survive in the camp that's there. And that's all I really know about it, and I don't want to know anymore. I just want to drop myself into it and read it and experience it. I have not watched the movie, so I look forward to, after reading this one, being able to sit down and watch the film and compare it. I have heard that the film itself is actually a very good adaptation of the book, and I've also heard that the book is a rather quick read, and having just like skimmed a couple of the pages, it seems like it would be. It seems like the way that it's written is so that you just move through it really quick. I don't want to say it's running dialogue because obviously it's one person, but it's like logs, I think, is how it's set up. So I don't know. I say I don't know that I'm going to get to it this year, but I really think I'm going to put it on my TBR. My TBR for the year is like growing, and I know that I had said in my like quarterly goals video, my first quarter goals video, that I wasn't going to like create a TBR per se for the year, but I still keep adding so many books because I keep finding so many books that I want to read, and I want to listen to the audiobooks because I hear people tell me how wonderful, like I might have already read the book, but then I hear somebody say, oh no, you gotta listen to the audiobook, it's amazing. I'm going off on a tangent again. Anyway, yes, so this will be added to my list of books to hopefully get to this year. On the floor it goes. All right, next book. Gods of Jade and Shadow. Now, to be completely honest, I know very little about this one, and I'm okay with that. I know it was written by the same author who wrote Mexican Gothic, which had phenomenal reviews. Have not read that one yet. That is still on my TBR, but that wasn't available at the bookstore. This was. And this one I did buy new. I had seen where a lot of people really enjoyed this one. They really enjoyed the author. The cover, I'm sorry, I hate to be that person, but God, this cover is just beautiful. I mean, it is gorgeous. I love the color scheme. I love the font type that they used. It's really pretty. So, yes. Gods of Jade and Shadow is by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, and the gist that I've gotten is it takes place in the Roaring 20s, and there's some kind of a deal made. But it takes place in Mexico City. And you are following Cassiopeia, who's your main character, and she gets swept up in... Oh, it is a death god. It is a Mayan death god. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. She's making some sort of a deal with a Mayan death god, and they embark on some kind of a life-changing journey in this one-of-a-kind fairy tale inspired by Mexican folklore. So, I probably butchered that whole thing up, and I apologize for that, but I am extremely interested and can't wait to read this. It won't be something that I'm starting immediately, but maybe by end of spring, beginning of summer, I will be diving into this. God, look at that. And the stars, like, it's just so pretty. Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's going on the floor now. The next book that I am going to show you, I didn't purchase at the bookstore. They didn't have it there at the time, and I wanted to pick it up because I am doing a buddy read. So Books with V is doing she's doing monthly buddy reads, as I think I've mentioned before, and she had us vote, I guess back in January, for March's buddy read book, and March's buddy read book is the Starless C. And so I was going to borrow again the audiobook from the library, and I'm still planning on doing that, but I knew that I would want a copy of the actual book as well to flip back and forth between. So I went out and I got Starless C by Erin Morgenstern. I had already started the audiobook back in like December, but again, I goofed up and I just waited too long to start it, and it ended up being returned before I was able to finish it. I think I know I got more than an hour in, maybe 2 hours into the audiobook, but I knew that I was enjoying it. I knew I liked it. So I felt comfortable purchasing the book as well because I had a feeling I was going to want to keep it. I wanted to make sure I had a physical copy so that I could keep track of my thoughts and feelings, and so that I could use the tags for the sides of the book. And along those lines with annotating, I have decided, because I tried having a method to my madness with annotating and using color-coded strips as I was reading, but I found I wasn't enjoying the reading as much because I was focusing on the art of tabbing instead of just enjoying reading and experiencing the book. So what I've decided I will do recently I have decided that I'm going to just take regular small post-it notes, and if I have a thought, I'll write it in pencil inside the book, and then I'll stick a post-it note on that page, and then I can keep moving on. And then after I've read the whole thing, if I want to go back through, I can go back through, and then I can go through each thought and then mark it with a tab that's colored, so that in future rereads I know what it stands for. But I felt like it was deterring me from my enjoyment, and the whole point of reading books, for me at least, is that I want to enjoy them, and then I want to tell you guys about them. So yeah, I'll be annotating this copy, I'm sure. All right, I'm gonna set this one down now. The last book I have to share with you, I will not be annotating, and I will not be annotating it because it is a library book. I have borrowed The Wolf of Oren-Yaro by K.S. Villoso. I adore this cover. This cover is so cool. I mean, I actually really enjoy the border. I like that the title takes up the main body of it. And I like that it's simple. I mean, it's just the image of the woman, you know, and I mean, you could tell it's going to be darker, it's going to be grittier because of the color scheme that they've chosen for it. But I really like it. It pops to me. It just stands out. And I love the little dagger at the bottom too. What is this book about? Again, I'm just gonna cheat. I'm just gonna read you the back of the book real quick. Okay, it says, born under the crumbling towers of her kingdom, Queen 𝐂𝐚𝐮𝐫𝐮, I think it's Queen 𝐂𝐚𝐮, I'm not sure I'm saying that right. I'll find out. Anyway, Queen 𝐂𝐚𝐮 was the shining jewel and legacy of the bloody War of the Wolves. It nearly tore her nation apart, but her arranged marriage to the son of the rival clan heralds peace. However, he suddenly disappears before their reign can begin, and the kingdom is fractured beyond repair. Years later, he sends a mysterious invitation to meet. 𝐂𝐚 journeys across the sea in hopes of reconciling their past. An assassination attempt quickly dashes those dreams. Stranded in a land she doesn't know, with no idea whom she can trust, 𝐂𝐚 will have to embrace her namesake. So, yeah, that just sounded awesome to me. And it was on my list, and I went, why am I waiting? Just borrow it from the library, read it in March. It'll be a good time. And then I can read the second book in the series. I can borrow that for April and read it then. And then I think the third book comes out in May. So I'm like, ooh, I'll be ready. I could be wrong about that date of the release, though. I'll have to double check that. Again, editing Sam, help me out. So yeah, those are the books that I have recently hauled. I am very excited to get to them, and very excited to have them be part of my library. You want to see all of them stacked up? Let's see if we can do this. I'm going to scoot back. All right, there we have it. There's those beautiful book babies. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in and hanging out with me while I talk about some books. Like I said, I try to support local businesses as much as I possibly can. If you would also like to support small bookstores but aren't able to get out to go to them, or you don't have any close by, you can always check out bookshop.org. I will link them in the description down below. If you are a resident of the UK, there's also a UK version of bookshop.org. I will link that in the description as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you had a lot of fun. I enjoyed making it. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified the moment I upload any other videos, including vlogs and writing journey videos, please be sure to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next one. So until then, have a wonderful day. Bye!